The newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. For the OCTA Research Group, the worst may be over for Metro Manila as new COVID cases continue to decline. But they advise holding off on easing restrictions for now. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro gives us a front seat to the story.
With Metro Manila's COVID numbers on the downtrend, researchers are now more optimistic that the worst may have already passed. OCTA Research microbiologist Father Nick Ostriaco says it is now unlikely that a more dangerous COVID variant will emerge after Omicron.
Omicron has significantly constrained the mutational landscape of future variants of concern. Because of Omicron, it is more difficult to make a scarier variant of SARS-CoV-2.
Ostriaco says this is because Omicron spike protein, or the key that lets the virus into human cells, is already so grossly mutated. Ostriaco says any further mutation of COVID would likely make the spike protein incompatible with human cells and the other variants. Add to this the natural immunity gained by those infected by the Omicron surge and the ongoing vaccination program.
Immunological memory of the entire population is more robust. It is stronger because of this situation. And so I think this is a consensus around the world now that the Omicron makes this flu endemic scenario more likely.
Because of this, Ostriaco said, COVID-19 is likely to become endemic, just like the common flu. Still, OCTA says this is no reason to put our guard down.
And I will say it again, it is mild, but it can still kill if you are not vaccinated and if you are not boosted.
OCTA mathematician Professor Guida David said, Metro Manila's COVID number are already clearly on a downward trend. The capital region has been having nearly 10,000 new COVID cases per day. David says, barring any major changes, we can expect NCR's number to drop to 2,000 by the end of the month, 1,000 by Valentine's Day, and less than 500 again by the end of February.
To sustain the rapid decrease, I would say that downgrading to alert level at this time might not be advisable until the NCR reaches moderate risk.
Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro, we are One News.
Meanwhile, the United Nations warned that the next variant after Omicron could be worse. Speaking at the UN General Assembly on Friday, UN Chief Antonio Guterres said that the world must go into emergency mode to put out current challenges that people are facing. Among the issues he mentioned are climate crisis, global finance reform, and the pandemic. He added that all these problems are exacerbated by, quote, failures of global governance. He then urged everyone to get vaccinated, saying that there might be worse variants of COVID-19 coming.
Omicron is yet another warning, and the next variant may be worse. Stopping the spread anywhere must be at the top of the agenda everywhere. At the same time, the virus cannot be used as cover to undermine human rights, shrink civic space, and stifle press freedom. Our actions must be grounded in science and common sense.
Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship Joey Concepcion says it may be time to implement new protocols against COVID-19. Speaking to the chiefs, Concepcion said that the Philippines should revisit its quarantine protocols. He added that other countries have even opened up their countries to tourists. He also said that after 2 years of lockdowns, it might be time to move on and go back to normal.
I think it's about time that we start to move on. The Philippines cannot sustain this kind of structure. You saw the impact of Omicron. It just spread like wildfire. No amount of quarantine that we have done has ever stopped any variant from coming to the Philippines. I believe that we should start to live a normal life, no? and move on. They cannot remain closed for 2 years. That's impossible for anybody to survive.
Concepcion also urged people to get vaccinated immediately. He added that the policies restricting the movement of the unvaccinated are only there to convince people to get inoculated.
They will not last for 1 year. They have expiry dates. So there has to be a sense of urgency of our people to take these vaccines. We are doing everything possible to convince them, to take the vaccine.
Vaccine hesitancy among Filipinos continues to drop further based on the latest survey by the social weather stations. According to SWS December 2021 survey, only 8% of the respondents said that they are unwilling to get unvaccinated. This is lower compared to the 18% vaccine recorded in September of last year. Now, the SWS noted that the vaccine hesitancy declined across all 4 survey areas. But even with the vaccine hesitancy going down, bringing vaccines to our most remote islands is still one of the pandemic's biggest challenge. Bloomberg's Dreo Calonzo travels with a team of health workers to document the process.
I'm here in the coastal town of Masinloc, some 5 hours north of Manila, and we are going to join health workers who are bringing COVID-19 vaccines to thousands of residents of an island village here.
Globally, getting vaccines to remote areas has become one of the pandemic's biggest challenges. The Philippines has one of Southeast Asia's lowest vaccination rates, with only about half of the population with 2 shots. Many of those who are unvaccinated live in far-flung places like this and cannot afford to travel to towns where vaccines are offered.
Very challenging talaga because you tend to meet every people, lalong-lalo sa mga far-flung areas ng katulad dito kasi sa Central Luzon, Sambales may pinakamaraming GIDA, yung mga geographically isolated depressed area na hindi talaga nakakapunta sa sa mga bayan-bayan dahil walang pamasahe, walang pera.
The Philippines posted record high numbers of daily COVID cases this month. The testing positivity rate surged to nearly 50% on the week of January 10, meaning about half of the people who took COVID tests had the virus.
So after a 20-minute boat ride, we're now here at an elementary school on San Salvador Island. And as you can see, reception is quite good. So I spoke to some of the residents here and some of the officials, and they said that what mainly encouraged them to get their shots is the restrictions on the unvaccinated.
Ngayon dahil lahat ng kilos ang hinahanap, vaccine card.
So okay po sa inyo na nagpupunta sila dito sa isla para bakunahan kayo?
Pwede naman. Nakakatipid talaga dito na sa isla. Hindi na kami pumunta ng bayan. Pero mga ibang anak ko, sa bayan.
Restrictions on the unvaccinated vary in different regions. In the capital Metro Manila, the unvaccinated aren't allowed on public transport. For some other regions, those without proof of vaccination can only leave their homes for essential purposes.
Kaya dapat yung pagbabakuna inilalapit talaga sa kanila, hindi yung sila yung pupunta rito kasi ang national government naman ngayon ang target talaga mabakunahan lahat So we're trying our very best na ma-achieve yung at least 70% na fully vaccinated dito sa atin. At hindi mo ma-achieve yun kung naka-focus ka lang sa cities o doon sa mga urban area. So kailangan mo talaga pumunta sa mga malalayong.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later again at 10:15 in the morning as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch the news on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.